Hey, what's going on, guys? So here we are, we're doing a whole new YouTube series for myself, and a lot of what I've done in the past has just been boring old workout videos and kind of talking to you guys about my contest prep and things like that. Nothing with really any depth and getting to know me and who I am and what drives me. So I'm going to be doing a lot of video content coming up, and this first one here is going to be about me, my background, and what got me into fitness and what I see for my future for myself. So let's start from the beginning. Go way back to when I was a kid. I was an athlete. I played 3 sports from like 3rd grade on. My older cousin, who's like my big brother, who's 7 years older than me, he was on the high school football team, and he used to drag me into the weight room with the seniors on the high school football team. So here I am, I'm like 12, 13 years old, working out with 17-year-olds, and that's when we found a knack that I have some pretty ridiculously strong legs. And he used to throw me under the squat rack, and I was squatting like 315 or something like that at like 14 years old, showing up these 17, 18-year-olds. The gym became a part of my life at an early age. 2 of my best friends were really big into the gym. My best friend Josh just lived down the street from me. We were the gym rats. In the morning before high school, we'd go to the gym and go train, and then go to practice in the afternoon. So the gym's always been a part of my life. Not necessarily bodybuilding per se, but just being a gym rat itself. So transition, I went on to college and I played football. And again, being in the gym was always part of my life. And after football, there was, a void, and I needed to fulfill that athleticism. And the weights were always there for me. That's kind of when I started transitioning more towards a bodybuilding style training, more than just athletic style training, deadlifts, squats, cleans, things like that. I kind of really tried to build a physique that I wanted. I still wasn't 100% on diet, didn't understand a lot of concepts or things like that, just kind of wung it. So after grad school, I was in like a transition phase in life, wasn't sure. I wanted to go to medical school and was just working, trying to save some money. And that's when an agency saw a picture of me. I was the Ultimate Warrior one year for Halloween. And it was my MySpace profile picture. And this modeling agency saw that, reached out to me and asked me if I was interested in fitness modeling. I could care less about being a model or anything like that. But I said, hey, if it pays, let's do it. So he called me back within 2 days, and I booked a muscle and fitness photo shoot. So I was kind of excited about that. So that's when I kind of started my first real diet and getting ready for that. And within another week, he called me about a GNC ad campaign that they were running and asked me if I could get to New York City that coming Sunday. So my first big break was I landed what ended up being a 5-year advertising campaign for GNC. So I was across the stores everywhere, and so that was kind of unique. I'd been traveling back and forth to New York from New Hampshire at the time, doing photo shoots and things like that, and went to my first Arnold Classic in 2010. I was at my agency's place in New York, and they said that I should get into bodybuilding. By stepping on stage, it was going to help give me more exposure, which could give me more magazine work and potentially a sponsorship. So I was in New Jersey one day and getting ready for a photo shoot, and I went in and used the restroom, believe it or not, and I came out and I hit a crazy vacuum for him. And at that point, he reached out to Universal Nutrition, who at the time was trying to do this throwback 70s style advertising campaign. Within a month or so, I ended up signing a contract with Universal before I had ever stepped on stage. So here I was within a 4-month span, not even in the industry at all, to getting paid to work out, basically. So I kind of put medical school on the back burner and said, let's give this a go and see what I can do in 3 years. And so that's kind of how everything got started into this. My first show was the Atlantic States in 2010. I ended up in 3rd place. I competed the following weekend at New Jersey. Got 2nd place, which qualified me for Junior Nationals, and went the following weekend. I went out there and I actually ended up getting 7th or 8th place at Junior Nationals. So my first time stepping on stage was 3 shows and 3 weekends in a row. And when you're in your 20s, it was a lot easier. I just finished up 3 shows in 4 weeks, and I feel like I'm dead. So anyway, from that, things kind of picked up, and I had the opportunity to come out to California to compete, and I flew out here, did the Excalibur in 2010. I ended up winning the overall, and while out here in California, I fell in love. Coming from New Hampshire, I'm a small town guy, and I remember in college we traveled for football, and we flew out here to University of San Diego to play. And when I stepped out the plane, I was like, at some point in my life, I'm going to live in California. And I made that bet with my best friend. This was just kind of fulfilling a dream that I had when I was younger. So I said the hell with it. And I packed up all my stuff, moved out here to SoCal. And that's kind of how I got started out here. The gym's always been a part of my life. And I really feel like it's helped me as a better person in life. It's helped me as a better student. The busier I am, the better I do. So when I always have something on my plate, like training, whether it be practice, that strict regimented schedule, your days are planned out. I'm kind of an OCD person. Having the regimented lifestyle of a bodybuilder actually makes me more productive and kind of makes me a little more sane. Because if I have downtime and I don't have direction, I don't get anything accomplished, and my anxiety goes through the roof. So I really like the regimented lifestyle that bodybuilding has brought to me. Here I am. I am in my 5th year as a pro. I'm not an elite bodybuilder, and I continue to say that to you guys. And I know a lot of you fans, love and support me, and that's great. But I'm just a realist on things. Structurally, I have some downfalls. I'm wide through the hips and narrow through the clavicles. So when I stand there in like a front relaxed pose, I just look boxy straight up and down. I have world-class legs, and that's kind of what I'll always be known for. So that's something that I always try to strive to kind of improve. I did take a phase through my training in a couple of years where I backed off leg training, and because I wanted my upper body to catch up. But looking back and thinking about things, I think I want to make a bigger push at leg training. Just really bring one crazy, freaky body part. Rather be known for something than nothing at all in life, right? Chasing the pro card, that was an adventure. As I always say, I'm one of those people that I put my mind to something and nothing gets in my way. And for 3 years straight, I hit every single national level show. One of the few guys that did that. Usually guys hit 1, maybe 2 shows a year. I did all 3 for 3 years straight. And finally, at the end of the 3rd year, we got it done in nationals. And I kind of kept that mentality as a pro. My rookie year, going into things, I was nervous as hell. And I almost backed out of my first show. I remember being like a couple weeks out. Here I am training with Rowe, who at the time was number 2 in the world. And we had the same coach, and we both trained with Charles Glass. So we'd go up in the posing room together and take pictures for Chris of each other to send in. And here I am, this rookie little white boy, sitting next to Sean Roden and comparing myself to the number 2 bodyman in the world. And I'm like, I'm going to get my ass kicked. I'm not ready for this at all. I had a very supportive team, and I kind of didn't believe a lot of people because people want to blow smoke up your ass. So I was very hesitant to do the show, but I stuck it out, and I ended up getting like 3rd in my pro debut, which was absolutely shocking. I remember just breaking down in tears, and me and my wife just getting emotional thinking about it now. Crying our eyes out, calling my coach and letting him know, thanking him for everything. And, that was probably one of the most special moments. I'd say that was even better than winning my pro card. Just because all the self-doubt that I had going into that show. So I continued on from there, and 4 weeks later I ended up placing 2nd at the Frigno, and I was racking up some points. So we said, the hell with it, let's just keep the pedal to the metal. And I did 4 more shows that following spring, and I ended up getting enough points and qualifying for the Olympia as a rookie, which, I'll be honest with you, I'll never make it to the Olympia again. The guys that are out here now, the competitors, are so much stronger than they were that year I competed. I got lucky and hit a few weak shows in a down year, and a lot of guys learned their lesson because a lot of good competitors didn't make the Olympia that year. So, I'm blessed and fortunate to have a team around me that pushed me when I did, because I never would have had that opportunity if I had taken the time off to grow and been a chicken like I thought I was going to be. Flash forward to now. I just finished up my 3rd show, as I said, in 4 weeks, and I've continued to get my ass kicked in these last 3 shows. Although my physique has improved over the years. Like I said, guys are just bigger and better. There's some genetic freaks out there, and it's not by lack of effort. I work my ass off, but it's just sometimes it is what it is. But I don't hold my value anymore in placings. I've learned that over the years that you have to be happy with what you bring to the stage, and judges want a much more muscular physique And with what I see in my life and my direction of life, as much as I want to look like those guys and as much as I yearn to be like that because I'm a competitor and I hate losing, I just know that packing on a ton of size isn't going to benefit me really. I mean, me placing third or second even at these shows is going to do no more for me than me sticking on the path that I'm on right now with the other things I want to do in my life. I'm trying to stay true to myself, make improvements. I'm still going to compete. I'm going to keep pushing forward. I have another show in a few weeks. I'm going to do Chicago and then possibly Tampa, depending if my wife divorces me or not in that time. So for the future, you know, I touch bases on another video. I kind of want to be a jack of all trades type deal. The inner athlete in me is really urging to get out, and it always does. And it's this weird balance between trying to be a bodybuilder, which everything you do is just single planar motion. You know, there's no directional movement or anything like that. Your joints and tendons, you know, they don't get a lot of stability work. So I struggle between being a bodybuilder and bodybuilding training and wanting to be an athlete again, and going out and running and jumping and playing basketball and doing things that put a lot of stress on joints and tendons and really opened me to be susceptible to injury. You know, I always kind of dabble here and there in things, and then I'll tweak something. I'm like, all right, I got to back off a little bit, focus on bodybuilding, because as of right now, the bodybuilding is what pays the bills. You know, I have sponsorships and things like that bring in money. But right now, I'm fortunate to be with a company, Anabolic Design, that supports me in all my endeavors. And Joe Binley of AD has told me, if you stop competing, that's fine. You know, you're still going to be part of this team, because he knows that I have more to offer than just what I do on stage. So I'm in an amazing situation right now, and have such a great support team that I can kind of do what I want. So the direction I want to go in next after this group of shows is I want to go into more of an athletic training style. And I want to get back into doing sprints. I want to get back into doing box jumps. I want to get back into playing basketball. And I want to kind of highlight some of that. I want to get back into strength training as well, and getting my strength up and getting my squat kind of back to where it was. My squat used to be crazy, and I stopped squatting when I injured my back. And if you guys have been following me, I'm getting stem cell treatments in my spine. So knock on wood, the doctors think that within 12 months of the treatments, my discs will be back to pretty much what they were when I was in my teens. So it'll allow me to deadlift and squat and do those things again without being crippled for weeks on end when I get a flare up. My next phase after possibly Chicago or Tampa, by the Olympia, actually, I'm putting this out there, so I have to hold myself to it. I want to be able to do some crazy athletic challenges, and I want to show that I can be a competitive bodybuilder, you know, not elite, but competitive. I'm placing and I'm beating a lot of guys at shows. You know, in the lineup of 27 guys, I'm placing 9th. So, you know, I'm somewhere in that middle of the pack type thing, that I can be a competitive bodybuilder. I can be an athlete. And I also want to make a bigger push into the acting world. And then that's going to come in a whole nother video that I'll talk about that. You know, I always think about the future. What am I going to do? Obviously, I can't compete forever. I'm knocking on the door of 35 here in a few more weeks. And, you know, luckily in bodybuilding, I'm kind of really just entering my prime. Any other sports endeavor, I'm past my prime. That's one of the beauties of bodybuilding. You can compete into your 30s and 40s as long as you stay healthy. Which for me, my training style does put me at risk for injury. That's a whole nother video segment that we're going to talk about, and the ways I kind of plan on trying to move around that and trying different approaches to training, I think, coming up for next year as well. So what am I going to do in my life, in my future? And that's always the scary question. You know, I have the degrees. Do I go back to school? Do I try to get a professional job? You know, how do I create a future for myself and my family? You know, and truly what I think would make me the happiest is just kind of continue on the path that I'm on. You know, I look at someone like a Mike O'Hearn, who's 48 years old and just looks absolutely phenomenal. You know, he's not the biggest guy in the world, but he stays in great shape year round. He's a good looking guy. You know, he's maintained a young, fresh look. He's strong as hell. You know, and he's an ambassador for fitness at that age, and he gets to travel around and do seminars and interact with people, and that would be my dream, like the ideal situation. And that's another reason why I don't want to chase crazy size in bodybuilding is, let's face it, what we do to our bodies, you know, it's taxing. You age fast. You put a lot of stress on your organs and things like that. So trying to walk around at 280 pounds, 290 pounds in the off season, it just is a lot of stress in your body. So while I maintain a leaner physique throughout the years and things like that, I think it's helped keep me look a little younger and fresher. You know, if I can kind of stay this young, fresh looking athlete into my 40s and be an ambassador for the sport and an ambassador for the longevity of the sport, that's kind of my ideal goal. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. And like I said, there's going to be a lot more content coming. We're going to do Q&As. I'm going to talk about relationships in bodybuilding. I'm going to talk about gut health. I'm going to talk about a whole litany of things. So I appreciate you guys tuning in, and make sure you subscribe and keep in touch for more content.